Three things before we get started. First things first, my game is down below, 99 cents on Steam. Trying to outsell Sonic Boom, just to say I outsold a really terrible Sonic game. Shouldn't be that hard of a thing to do. Second of all, see what this is about, because it's a piece of gaming history. And three, stay for the health tip, or food, whatever I put at the end of this video. Okay, bye. Hey everybody, my imaginary friend decided to invent something that removed the ends of bread, and unfortunately, me being a competitive type, I had to try and find something a heck of a lot better. And I'm still on the hunt, but you know what, I think this next one is pretty good. Let's see here, why is there an Italian on it?
Mario Galaxy was such a good game that Mario Sunshine was completely disowned at E3 2007.
Your experience with Super Mario Galaxy, in one sense, this is the first worthy successor to Super Mario 64.
Its history really does boil down to being a tech demo for Mario 128, which branched off into Pikmin and Mario Galaxy respectively. The premise of Mario Galaxy is pretty straightforward. Save the princess from Bowser, but with a bigger twist. That really boils down to just saving the entire universe as if it is no big deal. And I say universe, even though the title's name is Galaxy, because each observatory room is its own galaxy. You go around collecting power stars to eventually get grand stars, which then leads you to the center of the universe where Bowser has decided to cosmically reset everything. Even though he somewhat succeeds in this goal, it really does boil down to the journey. That's pretty much it. It's really about the journey, not the destination when it comes to Mario Galaxy. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's talk a little bit about its predecessors. Mario 64 was the pinnacle turning point for gaming in the industry when it came to 3D graphics and, above all, 3D space with those kind of controls. They sort of attempted this back in the day with certain games like Sonic 3D Blast and Star Fox and a few other ones that had the Super FX chip. It's a very brief history of 3D gaming. It's a lot more complex than that, but it gets the point across. Then, Mario Sunshine came out a little bit after Mario 64, landing itself on the GameCube. To mediocre acclaim, it wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't by all means a really good Mario game. Definitely not the quality you expect from Nintendo. Now, with that game having its own issues and kicking Sunshine in the knees after being such a launch, how could Nintendo best Mario Sunshine? There's only one way to go up, and boy, they really went up. Mario 64 walked so Sunshine could kick it in the and then Galaxy picked up the pace. Look, Mario 64 is a game that is for careless fun. Mario Galaxy is when I want to
Relax, and Sunshine is for when I want to stress out over what dang blue coin I just collected. It's not blue.
See, Mario Sunshine, while good in its own right, was open to vague levels. You were in that area, there was nothing else you would do except the goal. There was no branching off, there was no anything. In my eyes, it was linear only because that's what the level gave it to be. You were not encouraged to explore, you were not encouraged to do a lot of things outside of hunting blue coins for more shines, which didn't entice the player to do a whole lot of anything. Galaxy perfected that linearity and made the Open Mario formula, which was a bit better when it came to clear mission objectives within a 3D space, which serves to me as the better alternative to the open sandbox world. I get why people don't like the linearity of Galaxy in comparison to, say, 3D World, but I would argue that this is a 2 steps back, 3 steps forward situation. And 3D World have an open sandbox style Mario game where you're free to explore the entire area, where it's sometimes empty, sometimes not, depending on where you go and what level you go in. Galaxy knocks them all out of the water with the simple fact that, yes, you have a clear goal in mind. Somewhat to like Sunshine, only better. To this day, I think Mario Galaxy is the pinnacle of 3D Mario. There was no doubt in my mind. Not to say all the Mario 3D games are bad because they have a different style of 3D space formula. They're all good in their own right, but Mario Galaxy mitigates this issue by having some stars be completely mysterious and allowing the player to explore the levels more freely. Even though these stars are few and far between, you can still find them if you go off the beaten path. People still say that's boring. Well, Mario Galaxy does add comets, which give existing stars a bit of a twist. It could be time trials, it could be a race against Shadow Mario, it could be something completely different. Changing how the game is played really gives you the opportunity to appreciate Mario Galaxy a lot more in its complexity. Preferences aside, Mario's future, to me, seems a little unknown. The Switch 2 hasn't been fully announced yet, only getting a look at Mario Kart 9. And on top of that, Charles Martinet, he's getting up there in age, and it's a bit jarring to think about a man who was so prolific in a lot of our childhoods is no longer working for the company that made all of this magic happen. Went out so gracefully, and I cannot thank him enough. So every YouTuber across this entire platform has talked about Mario 128 being a tech demo, and that's how it's separated Mario Galaxy, so on and so forth. So look, I'm just gonna keep chugging along because I want to be a little more unique instead of rehashing the same history script. Well, let's talk enemies and power-ups. Mario's normal enemies return, Goombas and Koopas. Sure, but we have a lot of new bizarre enemies, and I would go over all of them, but experiencing Galaxy and seeing what challenges they have to offer you, what unique enemies come, and overall, just each area. I think you should play the whole thing for yourself. As much as I'm going over it, I cannot stress it enough. Mario Galaxy is an experience that comes once every console generation.
Oh crap, they did it twice.
Being said, there's not that many power-ups in this, only sporting a few from older games. So, the Fire Flower, it comes with a unique twist this time where it's timed and is more of a traversal and puzzle-solving thing rather than something that kills and attacks enemies. You can still kill and attack enemies, but the problem really just boils down to if the player likes how it's used here. And I think it's a wonderful extension of how you progress through levels, not just a means of attack. Versatility over utility when it comes to the aspect of how these power-ups are portrayed in the game. Same can be said for the Ice Flower, which, in all honesty, I did not know much about at the time, seeing as New Super Mario Bros. Wii just came out, and Galaxy was actually my first Wii game. In Super Mario Bros., it gives you a new jumpsuit and you can freeze enemies and throw them. But in Galaxy, it's a whole different ballgame. You can skate on ice, you can freeze waterfalls and wall jump on them. Heck, you can even make yourself little platforms with these water hose things. Ice skating with Ice Mario is just so fun and fluid to control as well. Alright, last of the returning power-ups is the Rainbow Star, or for those veterans out there, the Starman. Obviously, it's invisibility, it just gives Mario a fresh rainbow coat, and you're invincible for a brief time. It's great for collecting star bits, and it's also great to just hype you up. Alright, so time for the new headliners of this game. Be Mario. I am so upset that this hasn't come back also. The only caveat here is, you can't walk in honey for some reason. You can climb on honeycombs, but you can't walk on honey. Weirdest thing. Spring Mario, probably the least favorable out of all of the power-ups in this. I would say it's just here for fun, right? Like, it's a unique, versatile thing for the levels it's in, but I don't see it ever coming back solely based on the fact that I can't find a single use for this outside of just jumping really high when you have a billion other power-ups that can do the same thing.
Well, I wouldn't call this better, but at least someone's into it.
And then Blue Mario. This one was a wild one to find back in the day, only because no one ever thought to put Mario in a Boo costume. You first see this in the same level you rescue Luigi, and oh my gosh, his PTSD from Luigi's Mansion really shows here. My goodness, the poor guy cannot catch a break. Two things I find funny about this level, though, is that if you go to him as Blue Mario, he will be scared completely, even though he can clearly see the red cap on his head. Also, that dopey smile, like, I don't understand how he didn't catch on to this, but it's just really funny. The second thing, oh my gosh. So Nintendo finally learned their lesson from Mario 64 and actually added Luigi into this, but I did not expect them to pull a multiverse Luigi scenario here. I know no one cares about the story implications of this, and to be honest, I don't think I even care about it, but it's just so funny to see Luigi saving Luigi. Lastly, we have the most underutilized power-up in the entirety of the Mario franchise, only being seen in this game, only used once, and above all, has the only unique star in the entire franchise. I'm talking about the Red Star power-up. You get this by collecting 100 coins for a red Luma, and it gives you a completely rare red star. You don't see it in any other game. It's not like the green stars that are expanded upon in Mario Galaxy 2. It's just wild to think that this was the only instance of this. Personally, I would have loved to have seen this power-up used more, going through each of the galaxies, flying around, because even though you get these cool cinematic cutscenes with Mario flying around, you get it from the launch stars that kind of act as loading zones, and above all, this cinematic piece, which I think is fine. would have been so amazing to see this. Some kind of level outside the only one you used it. Instead, it's relegated to a tool for the hub world. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the bosses that kind of stood out to me, because Mario Galaxy has a plethora of bosses, but there's a few that just, again, as a kid for me, really stuck out. First off, we have King Caliente. This is a king octopus of sorts, completely unique to Mario Galaxy, and this special just because of the fact that it was really fun, not because of its simplicity, but because of the motion controls. It really gave an extension of synergy between Mario and you. It was perfect bliss, the back and forth, it was wonderful. Why they chose melons, I have no idea. It was very organic with the motion controls here, considering the other games at the time where motion controls were very forced. Bouldergeist was another one, a really unique twist of using rocks and ghosts, and oh my god, why does Nintendo love floating hands so much? Look, as a kid, I loved him, and I thought the spooky bomb ghosts were a good twist, but now that I'm older, I can see that Nintendo just really doesn't like animating limbs. For some reason, they just love their floating hands. Even Mario Wonder did this at the end, and I don't like Mario Wonder. Lastly, Dino Piranha. Well, more specifically, its fire version. As a kid, I was shocked there was two of these little cretins, but now I find the other one adds a layer of difficulty. Do you hit him a little before, or do you try and damage boost to hit the ball so that it whacks him in the head? It gives a layer of difficulty that's just right. Bosses and mini-bosses are abundant here, but these are just my highlights. Alright, let's talk about music and cinematics. Now let me just say the music. Oh, Mike, I need a minute. So beautiful! Oh my gosh! Listen, there's a reason this has gotten countless awards, countless claims to fame, and above all, truly was one of the marks in which gaming stood the test of time, not just as a childlike entertainment, but as an adult activity. Nowadays, you see music composers and videographers looking at video game music and cinematics and musical compositions. Just overall is wonderful to see because now video games are accepted worldwide. So much so, they've beaten Hollywood to death. Which, how is Hollywood right now? Now, the music aside, it really is just something you have to experience for yourself. There's only so much praise every single one of these YouTubers, myself included, could give you. But just listening to Gusty Garden Galaxy or Good Egg Planet, my gosh, it either wants you to relax, it wants you to set out on an adventure. There is just so much around you when it comes to this kind of musical composition. It's elegant, and Koji Kondo really nailed it when he talked about the orchestra being a more mature thing. Realizing that Mario's audience was maturing, and they wanted something that reflected it. And I think it shows in his work. I still listen to it nearly 20 years later. Only because it's some of the best music that you can find that doesn't have kind of a message behind. It's just the beauty of it. And look, as someone whose grandfather loved classical music, I'm sorry, Mozart can dust when it comes to Mario Galaxy's soundtrack. You can listen to it on the My Nintendo Music app.
It passed me. So, Nintendo didn't actually incorporate Apple CarPlay into the My Nintendo Music app, so you can't exactly show it like that, and to be honest, I can't really screen record on my phone without it looking janky, and I can't believe Nintendo didn't. Why? They make things a lot more difficult than they need to be. Just put it on Spotify.
Now, Mario Galaxy is the definition of doing so much with so little. Besides the Wii just being two GameCubes duct taped together, its cinematics really come from the simplicity of not saying much, but show. Each cutscene or interaction with the character really boils down to it being its own little cinematic, because not much has to be said for you to understand and get the emotion behind every action, whether it's Bowser or some NPC. Where I think Galaxy really shines with its cinematics is when you shoot out of a launch star and you get to see the beauty of each and every world. Sure, they throw star bits there, which is this game's currency, to kind of entice the player to keep engagement, but in all honesty, I don't think they're needed. Mario Galaxy is too beautiful for that. This was done on the Wii of all things, a very underpowered console at the time. You even pick favorites between the worlds, because each of them brings something so unique when it comes to its musical composition, its level design, and how it world builds. It is perfect. And what also encompasses this is the controls. Now look, motion controls were a bygone era of the Wii, but Battletech aside, it was kind of a hot commodity with a lot of Nintendo titles at the time. They were usually shoehorned in, and Skyward Sword being the biggest example of forced motion controls I can think of. There were a few segments in the game that did force motion controls that weren't as fluid as some of the other portions. The spin attack is a fluid thing, but throwing these stupid little bombs and riding this ball around and also this manta ray. Look, if you just hold it like a joystick and you focus on the one controller, you'll be fine. I think it's overdone, but I can see why people hate it. Me, it wasn't that hard because I wanted to try and know what the game was telling me to do. Try and feel what the game was telling me to do. And I think overall as a kid, trying to understand that this art form was something that just needed my undivided attention showed my maturity as a gamer back then. Now, I said before the spin attack was very organic, but also pretty much everything else involving the spinning controls is just a flick of the wrist. That's really it. So it's something that's organic to pretty much everyone, where it's obvious of what you're supposed to do. It made sense, to be honest. For the most part, the motion controls of this game do not detract from the overall experience of Mario Galaxy. Whether it's collecting star bits, or using the launch star, or spinning attack enemies, it doesn't matter. I think it is perfectly encompassed here as an extension between the player and Mario. Overall, the music and cinematic cutscenes and or gameplay aside, no matter how big or small they were, it was crafted with the utmost care, and I really wish I had the physical CDs of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2's composition, because these scores are just that good. Also, I think that instead of a port, it really does need a group HD remake, outside of the 3D All-Stars. Video, I used a little bit of footage from the Wii, but I also used a little bit from 3D All-Stars, just as a proper comparison. And to be honest, I barely noticed a difference. Call it nostalgia goggles if you want, but Mario Galaxy is just Mario Galaxy. You've achieved your mission. Now it's time for the end. You gotta go to the center of the universe and save Princess Peach. You have enough Grand Stars, you have enough Power Stars, you are ready to go. Your lives are all stocked up. Princess Peach has actually helped you out throughout your entire journey by giving you lives generously, somehow sneaking letters away from Bowser, in the middle of space. Whatever works. You get it from this messenger toad, and...
Yeah, Peach is great and all, but I prefer the thick B. If it's not thick and buzzing, I don't want it.
Now it's time to test your skills. With the right amount of difficulty played throughout the entirety of this game, where if you lost a life, you genuinely feel like you messed up. You're ready to take on Bowser, save the universe, and I say universe only because each observatory, again, is its own galaxy in the foreseeable Mario universe. The final showdown is epic. It's grand. It's a real treat. To traverse the level, it also reflects everything you've come up to until this point. Putting your skills to the test, it's a pure combination of everything you've come to know about your journey up until this point. All that is left is Bowser himself. Beginning of the story, Bowser really felt like a threat. He does so here. Causing cataclysmic damage across the galaxy in biblical proportions, he's never felt like such a threat. Mario Galaxy really shows us what he's truly capable of. I don't think he's ever felt this intimidating since Mario Galaxy. The impact of this game is something that will be felt throughout all generations. And that is something that so many people have talked about. There's a reason people are nostalgic for this game. And I really think that it just shows that Nintendo had their priorities straight when they were making this. They knew their audience, they knew what they were going for, and above all, they showed us that Mario wasn't just for kids. Sure, kids play this game and everyone loves Mario, but at the end of the day, Mario is meant to be enjoyed by everyone. And that's what makes him so special. And I think that's what makes Nintendo insecure about a lot of their intellectual property is the fact that, yeah, so many people hold it in high regards. And I can see why. Mario Galaxy is a perfect example of this. You mean to tell me, nearly 20 years later, people are still talking about this? That's how you know a game stood the test of time. Alright kids, time for a little rant, because holy crap, this game is fantastic. I'm sorry, but seriously, Honey High Galaxy. Oh my gosh, one of the best power-ups here. Why has this never returned? Seriously, Mario was fantastic. Gosh, the extension of Mario to B. B, why can't he just walk in Honey? I hate this. Dusty Gardens Galaxy, oh my gosh. Give me an orchestra this soundtrack alone, and I would love for Dusty Garden Galaxy to just be the headliner. Please. When's Mario turning 40? He needs a symphony. And Luigi's here for some godforsaken reason. I don't care how he got here. I love the fact that he's here. You get to save him twice. Once with Mario and then another with himself. Give me a Mario multiverse theory. Someone get the game theorists. Racing spooky speedster and a random boo in the middle of a galaxy just looking for a race. Who cares? He had a need for speed. Each levels were so serene and beautiful it almost made me want to go back to Sunshine.
What? I said almost.
Hey gosh, Joy Time Galaxy, if this was ever a Rube Goldberg machine, I don't know what is. The zany music of Mario's theme put all together was a wonderful composition. Listen, people complain so much about the motion controls in this game, the manta ray and the stupid ball, but look, if you really want to complain, go to Bubble Blast Galaxy. That gave me so much anxiety as a kid. I don't care. Stop complaining, you're fine. It's Bubble Blast Galaxy that's the real problem. Regardless, this game is magnificent. Oh my gosh, the reward when it came to the slight adjustment of difficulty. Just look at Luigi's 8-bit backside over here. My goodness, what a stressful thing. For the most non-motion controlled level, it was so rewarding to beat this as a kid. The bosses all are amazing. There's really no pick of which one is the favorite here. Why does Nintendo have to do stupid hand things? I don't understand. I get it, you don't like animating limbs, but stop with the floating hands. Give me floating feet instead at this point.
I'm gonna wait for the comments on this one.
Rosalina's story time. Oh my gosh, the therapy I needed after this. Let's not forget the final epic battle. Oh my gosh, fighting on multiple planets where you have to fight blow for blow. Each one being more impactful than the rest. Getting to the center of the universe. Oh my gosh, what a freaking time it was. After that, you get a whole galaxy reset. Yeah, the galaxy literally resets. Bowser's machine fails. Go figure. Speaking of his failure, oh my gosh, one of the most dramatic and manliest things I've ever seen was him imploding on a universe. And he's just walking off like nothing happened. Also, for all 5 of you who are here looking for Captain Toad to be acknowledged here, fine. Here's your acknowledgement. No, he's not going to be in Smash Brothers. Stop asking.
Hi, I'm Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, and you may know me a little better like this. Hello, it's me, Mario, woohoo! And I'ma call you because I'm here at the GameStop where they're telling me that you pre-ordered my newest and the greatest game, Super Mario Galaxy, woohoo! It's an amazing game, and it's gonna be here tomorrow at your local GameStop. You can come and pick it up at the GameStop store where you originally reserved your copy. Whoopee! I can't wait for you to see me flying around in my bumblebee outfit. I'm out in space, trying to rescue the princess. Ah, she makes my heart go bada-bing, bada-boom, bada-ba. Oh, and you know what that is? GameStop will let you bring in your old gadgets to trading for credit. Yeah, credit to help you buy your copy of Super Mario Galaxy with me, Mario. Oh, and if you have any questions, make sure you call your local GameStop store where you pre-ordered my game, and they're gonna be happy to help you out. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Happy holidays! And thank you very much for buying my new game, Super Mario Galaxy, at the GameStop. Woohoo!
That doesn't get any,
No glasses. This is just raw emotion here. This game came with a commemorative coin and a piece of paper that unfortunately my mother lost while wrapping Mario Galaxy, this gift. You know, this was how I found out that I was getting Mario Galaxy for Christmas. However, oh man, she didn't know that on my way home from school I got the call from Charles Martinet himself. Seeing as GameStop was doing a special promotion and call at the time, and I was just blown away. It was beautiful. You know, I just had to bite my tongue at the time because when you know, it came out in November, and you know, she held on to it until December, so I had to wait until Christmas to get it. I clocked in over 200% on my game states back in the day, and I'm gonna overlay some footage real quick of the cool screens you got at the end of your journey, and I beat them both on the same day, the New Game Plus and the original game. But it's crazy to think how long it's been. If I could marry a video game, it would probably be Mario Galaxy, without a doubt, no questions asked. It's one of those games that really means something to me and a lot of other people. Not just because of, you know, how great it is, but how it made us feel. And I think that's something that I don't think anyone could take away. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. At the end of the day, Mario's for everyone. And Charles Martinet, you know, a great voice actor. Met him a few times, if you couldn't tell. It's just, it's something, you know? Oh, man.
We got to the part of the video where you want to know what this is. Well, turns out these are actually the memos you used to get on the Wii back in the day when you did an accomplishment or some kind of, like, thing. So, like, completing a game, completing a story. So these are just some of the things I got from Mario Galaxy, and I threw in two other ones in here, if, you know, just give them a look.
And this is my original save file, all the way back when I 100%ed both of these the first time. It really is hard to believe that this was nigh over 15 years ago. Most of my life has passed me by, a lot of things have happened, but Mario still stayed there, waiting for me to come back and enjoy this one more time. It's something.
Hey, so I've actually also been practicing Japanese in a respectful way, not a creepy, weird way. I know a lot of, like, nerds will say random Japanese stuff, but this is actually just for, like, Nintendo because, learning the language to eventually go there and love the culture, love the people, so on and so forth. It's very peaceful. But Nintendo no kata wa yoroshiku onegai shimasu. In other words, I just said, Nintendo, thank you very much for this game. I can't thank you enough. Yeah, okay, cool, bye. Oh, hey, you made it to the end of the video. Great, now I can tell you about something healthy, because I love health. Believe it or not, not sponsored, but this ice cream for bears, actually, this is either a new flavor, or I'm not actually sure, but honestly, the ingredients: cream, milk, raw honey, skim milk, orange juice, concentrate, egg yolk, pure vanilla extract, and pure orange oil. You can read the label, and it belongs on your table. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Anyone ever told you that because you're a gamer you can't be healthy? They're full of it.